Maria always wanted to go by her middle name, Elena, and so she did. She woke up one morning and said, enough. Enough of not feeling good enough, and enough of making excuses for not trying. And from then on, she was Elena. Elena had her own problems too. Sticky, hard to scrub problems. But for Elena, she was willing to face these issues head on and with an all or nothing attitude. Those inklings of not feeling good enough no longer existed for her. She knew, no matter the obstacle, she would overcome it. But she was so much more than her problems too. She was a woman who loved theater and singing and writing. A woman who wanted to move to the Big Apple and watch the sunset every night, grateful for the sunset in front of her. She was a woman who had such high appreciation for the arts and a huge heart for others, so much that she would dedicate her life to reaching other people via some sort of cathartic release. And it worked. She reached people with her words and her art and her soul, and wore her heart on her sleeve. She woke up every day with the goal of letting people know that they were not alone. She challenged the ideals that society told her were normal, and pushed the boundaries for not only herself, but for others. Elena made fundraisers for hungry kids. She reached her lifelong goal of crafting her own scholarship fund for underprivileged students like herself. She wrote movies and shows that cast people that looked like her, undeniably brown, and proud of it. She stood up for her gay and trans friends and marched along her best friend in the 2020 protests. She stood in front of her when the man with the baton stepped too close. She took care of her mom in her older days, just like she promised she would. She finally had her house, with all sustainable kitchenware. Every pet that came and went was a stray or a rescue. She kept all her change in a giant glass jar, and when she turned it into bills, she spent it on lunch for a poor old lady. Elena was smart, creative, resilient, and brave. But most of all, she was kind. It's free, after all. And no amount of any material item could have ever meant anything more to her than creating a smile on someone else's lips. Elena was a starry-eyed little girl who never fully grew up. She was always dreaming of something big, and she was always watching the sunset.